Okay, I hope the last video was informative for all of you. So now going ahead to the next topic that is available, we have objects. Now every organization does have objects. Objects would be nothing but the database tables. In other words, these are containers which hold all your records. Now object level security is very important. This would actually come only from profiles and permission sets. Now profiles give a very wide and vast option. Just to give you an overview, I am going to quickly be taking you through the profiles and the relevant options available. Now once you click on profiles, here you'd be getting a list of profiles out of which you could select one. You could select one of the available profiles and you could work on that. Let me just open some profile from, let's say, go to right. So I would take this profile, the standard users profile. Now what do we really mean by object level security? Object level security is nothing but, now once you just have a check, these are nothing but your objects. The one that you are seeing on the tabs are nothing but your objects. Once if I click on accounts, I am able to see a list of accounts available for this particular profile. However, from profile, if I go ahead and do not show you this list of accounts, that's when the trouble comes. So now the possible use cases here could be users are not able to create any records on account object. So first of all, you have to probe, be it in an interview, you have to probe if the user is able to see accounts as an option available or an object available. Once you get the answer of it being yes, so the next question would be to check on for this option that you see here, which I am highlighting. So the options that are available for this particular profile, standard user, is the tab settings says that it is on. So under tab settings you just get three options. One is default on, default off, and tab hidden. Now default on would be nothing but tab would be available and would be showcased. Default off would be nothing but it is not available, and tab hidden would be nothing but once you click on the plus icon, you could go ahead and add that from your customized tab option. Now you also have the account record types and page layout. This is where you could see the record types available. This is not available for most of the objects, I could say. However, it is available for few. So you could select what are the master record types and you could assign it to that particular page layout. Then we have something called as the object permission. This is very important. You have read, create, edit, delete. This is sometimes also called as a CRUD, CRUD or CRED. Now being said that there is also view all and modify all. If by any chance you have assigned view all or modify all access to any profile that you should not be doing, this might land you up in trouble, because users of that profile could access records of any users across the organization, across as a system administrator, and they could even modify it up to the state of deleting or not deleting rather, they could go ahead and change the details of those records. So you've got to be very careful in selecting these two. The only way is to go ahead and select these two for system admins and super users. If you have the architects designing your organization or the client's organization in such a way that all the super admins and the system admins could view all and modify all. So let me quickly go ahead and just edit this, just to show you how it really works, because you could, as I told you could select it from one of this option. You could make it default off. We could assign some other record, some other page layout for a master record type. We would speak about this a bit later. Then we have the object permissions, which you see is not editable, as this is a profile that's coming in from Salesforce. So they have assigned it accordingly. However, if I wish to go ahead and perform changes, I could do that. Now coming to field permissions, this is sometimes also called as field level security, so which allows you to only select read or edit. Just read or edit. You cannot make fields mandatory from profile. No, if you get a question in your interview, how could you make a field mandatory from profile level? So your answer should be straight no, that could not be done using profiles. So this is about profiles. Now it happens so that once you go ahead and select the most least access on your profiles, and tomorrow you get a user whose profile need not be changed, and still he would like to perform some edit access on the same account object, giving you in a better perspective. I would please give me a moment, let me just open a notepad and share more details. Okay, so it goes this way. You have say 300 users having profile A. Now profile A has read access on account object, and you get 100 more users who needs create and read access on account object records. The calculation would be very simple. Always you've got to keep it in mind is try to restrict the profiles as much you can in an organization. So you're going to be assigning profile A to 300 users earlier, and add that to 100 more users, and you're going to create a permission set A to 100 users that just came in. So this would actually allow you to restrict the number of profiles and try to manage your organization with permission set. Let me quickly go ahead and show you this complete scenario from my perspective, how I could be achieving this right from profiles as well. So being said that, this is a good way to explain you more about profiles. Now there are two different ways you could do. You could create a profile either by hitting the new profile button, or you could clone an existing profile. However, even if you go ahead and click on new profile, you would be landing a page where you'll have to select a profile name from where you need to clone it from, so it does not really make sense. So what I'd be doing is I'd be rather going down. I would be selecting a profile with the closest one. Let's say I would select anyone for now. Alright, so I'm going to quickly go ahead and clone this profile. In the meantime, I'll just have a check on their object settings just to make sure we are on the right page. Alright, fine. Alright, sure. So I have this. I'm going to be naming this profile as training underscore profile just read on account. I'm going to go ahead and click on save. Once I have created this, I'm going ahead and making changes to the object. You see this is a difference. Custom profile will always be checked, even from the window where we could select profiles. We could see that if it is a custom profile or a standard profile, you could always select that as a quick reference while this still loads. Let me just show you. There you go. So this is it. If I scroll to the alphabet T, I could find that option right away. Now I am in this. I'm going to quickly go ahead and click on edit, and I am going to check my requirement once again. Profile A has read access on the account object, so I'm going to go ahead and give read. Now you just have a check. If you click on delete, the edit comes by default. You click on modify all, everything gets checked beneath this apart from creating it. Now you uncheck all, click on modify all, just have a check. Automatically it does get checked. So be very careful in giving permissions. Once you click on view all, read gets selected, so be very careful and wise enough in selecting. You could select the fields that you want this profile to have a look, but for right now my requirement is only with playing with profiles and permission set. So my profile is ready. So always in an interview, be careful if they ask you to create a new profile. Tell them it is wise to go ahead and clone a profile, and you cannot delete a standard profile. You can delete a custom profile if needed. So I'm going to part 2 of my requirement. Now I would be assigning 300 users. Now how could I assign 300 users to this profile is a good question. So I come to profile overview, I click on assigned users. I could select the users accordingly and assign them this profile. So it could be add multiple users. You could select users of a particular role, of a particular license, and once you select that, you could see the number of users under that profile and add them. I'm sorry, I have come to adding new users here. I'm just going to roll back. I'm going to select new users. Once you go ahead and click on new user, you could add a user's license here, or you could go to manage these profiles and add them from there. I would show that in the next video. So now we're talking about permission set. So I am going to click on create a new permission set. You could also clone a permission set. I'm going to be renaming it to, I'm going to be giving it a label, training permission set 1 create and read. You could certainly not or give spaces, that's alright. I do not wish to do that, keeping my organization very neat so that anyone coming in could go ahead and select it appropriately. So now you could either select a license and all users with that license would be assigned this particular permission set automatically, or you could not select anything as of now, and once your users are being created you could select it then. That's totally fine. So we'll have to wait until this permission set gets created since the network speed is a bit slow. Okay, once your permission set is created, you could come down to object settings again, and you could see that this does not have any access on the object. Now I'm going to quickly go ahead and open up access on this accounts with the particular option that I told. So I'm going to go ahead and select create and read and create as I had promised. So I'm going to go ahead and save this, and once being saved I'm going to go ahead and manage this. I'm going to be assigning this to users. Right, in the meantime let me quickly swap through the options here and go back to my list of users and assign a profile for one of the users that I had created recently in the demo video earlier. So I see this. I'm going to be changing this profile to the profile I created, and also I would be assigning a permission set for this user. Now I go ahead and permission set assignment. Now you would see two of these: permission set activation required and permission sets assignment. So I'm going to click on permission set assignment, select this permission set and assign it to this user. But before I do that, what I'd be doing is I would be going ahead and logging as this user. So to log in as this user, there are two ways. I could go ahead and as a system admin I could since this is my developer org, I could go ahead and enter the login ID and password in a different browser and then log in. Or the easier method would be use the grant login option. So for which I need to get into my profile first and enable that. So I am going to be showing that grant login in the next videos. So I'll quickly save that. Alright, so I have added that. So now I would be showing you about the grant login. So you see this is the option. So you were not able to see a login button over there. Now if you quickly check this and save the changes, go back to your list of users, and you would see this option, which is nothing but equivalent to this login option. Now if I go ahead and log in as Robin, by default I would be getting this window, which could be again controlled from the lightning option available in this window. We will be editing that soon. Now I would switch back to the classic mode and just show you on the accounts object. Now if you just have a check, you see there is an action of you could follow this account, you could create new account, as well as you could edit this account Okay, I do not see an edit option available for this account, so I think there is something to do with the profile again. So let's quickly just have a check if something is missing. Okay, I would still just have a check on user's profile. Everything seems alright. We have assigned the permission set. I believe there is some access that is being overridden by this, so allow me to have a check and troubleshoot more on this. This is actually a very good scenario that we have got into such issue. So this says read and write. However, if I open the profile that we created earlier, that is nothing but the training one. If I have to close all the other windows and just have a check on the profile, so since I've logged in as this, I might not be able to do that, so I'm going to log back in as my administrator. This is quite a common problem about logging in as different profile. You do not have to refresh the window every time, because once you click on any option, you would be certainly navigating back. Okay, so the account says read. However, on the permission set we have read and create. So the next best thing to do would be just have a check on the organization wide defaults, which shows what access has been granted, because that controls the record level for which you have to get into sharing settings under security controls. And if you just have a check, this says it is having a public read write on both the account and contract for so all are allowed to read and write. So we do not have any more granular settings placed here. This should actually do the trick. So let me go ahead and let me remove that particular permission set from Robin's account. As an administrator, I do have the privileges to do that. So now if I log in as Robin and just have a check on account and click on all account, you see I do not have the button of creating a new account. So this is about it. So without the permission set, I'm able to view the records without editing them, which is fairly good. However, with the permission set, I was able to go ahead and also create a new account. Now if I have to show you by editing these records, you want to enhance more permissions so that the users can quickly go ahead and also edit accounts. Suppose you get a third requirement, you need 50 more users to go ahead and edit the records out of this 100. Now we have this out of the 100 users having the above access, you would want 30 users to have edit access on account records. So it would be very simple. You just have to come back to this, clone this permission set, save it with the details, read, edit, that's what I'm going to give, clear this, and once I do that the name gets populated. I'm going to go ahead and save it. So once you save it, you come back to this permission set, you come back to object settings, you go to your accounts, and you just click on edit. You click on edit and save them. Again, we're going to pick up our same user, Robin, who was earlier not able to do that. Now you've got to understand that a user can have only one role and one profile at a time. However, a user could have multiple permission sets assigned to him consecutively. So this one is for read and this one is for edit. Now note that Robin would fall under the 30 users of the third requirement that is placed here. So I'm going to quickly log in as Robin again and show you the magic of what exactly happens. So here you go. You could see the new account creation button, you could see the records, and you could also see edit option just besides the follow option available. So these are few generic tasks that can be done on profiles and permission set. Some of the common ones between both of them are also you could select what applications or what apps that they could see from the top right window. Now I would be selecting a permission set that I've created, which gives me the options what all I could do. I could see the apps available. Now since I have this view available, I could select what apps they could see from this section. Sales could be standard sales. These are something that if I'm restricting at profile level, I could enhance it by giving it at permission set. However, if I've given it at permission set, I cannot restrict it using generic idea is if you give access using profiles, you cannot restrict it at permission set. If you have not given at profiles, you could come down and give enhanced access on permission set. I know there was a lot of fumbles and a lot of delays in this video preparation. My apologies for that. We got disconnected in between because of network issues. I've still tried my best to keep it simple. Hope you like the video. Thank you.